Welcome to another edition of the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Breakdown. This week we'll be taking a look at LSU. We'll look at both their offense and their defense. As always, if you like this content, like this video, sub to this channel, check us out on social media, drop us a dono on Patreon, and check out the pod each and every Monday where we bring you in-depth analysis of the Florida Gators. Now we'll start by looking at LSU's offense. It's possible that both TJ Finley and Max Johnson are going to play in this game, so we'll just look at both of them. Like we've been doing each and every week, we'll look at Alabama, since Florida is going to be playing Alabama in the SEC championship game. And as we start here with the TV camera from LSU, the dreaded low TV camera, you can see how flat we are to this broadcast. Some stadiums are better than others. And of course, throughout this film study, we'll get some better camera angles. And as always, I'll draw for you where the players actually are based upon the All-22. But what's important to note about LSU is they will still do a lot of the same things they attempted to do last year, and a staple of the LSU offense is this bunch set on offense. This is much simpler than what they would have done under Joe Burrow, but this concept is still very effective. It's hard to play man against this because of the bunch, especially here on the side where you have three receivers, and you can do a lot of things out of it. You can block anytime for the run game. You can also run vertical routes or flat routes, so you can tailor this sort of to where your quarterback is at, and that is, of course, a feature of what LSU will do. On the very first play we're going to look at here, you're going to see a very simple throw from TJ Finley. Alabama is going to play a cover 6, so we're going to drop this corner back, drop back, and this corner here is playing cover 2. Now, if you've watched previous film breakdowns, you're getting pretty acquainted with the cover 6 nowadays. This is going to be a nice, easy throw for Finley. He just simply has the bottom receiver delay, and then come out late. Nice, easy throw here on 3rd and 2, and Bama gives up an easy first down. TJ Finley does like to throw the ball vertically. When we look at Max Johnson, although we have limited film on him, things will be a bit different. So Bama's honoring that, and an easy pickup on 3rd down for LSU. Florida would be wise, in my opinion, to cover TJ Finley's throws to the left side of the field. If you've already listened to the podcast, you know I mentioned this heavily. TJ is very comfortable throwing the ball to the left. In fact, he loves doing it. His numbers are twice as good as when he throws it here to the right. And you're going to see on this film study just how many passes go to the left. I'm not cherry picking them. It's just what he does. So pay attention on this film study how that happens. Again, Florida would be wise to overplay the left side and underplay the right side when at all possible. Bunch set again from LSU. What they're going to wind up doing here, and this is a nice play by the way, is they're going to three level a cover 3 from Alabama. And I'll show you what I mean by this. We will capture this on the camera. Our receivers are going to go off the screen, but we're going to have a go route to clear out the dropping corner in the cover 3, so he has to take the deepest man. And then we're going to have an out route at about 10 to 12, and then here we're going to have a running back come into the flat. So that's a 3-level route. We have 3 different levels. We have deep, intermediate, and short. Really effective cover 3 beater. There they go off your screen. Now you can't see it. He's obviously breaking to the out just like I told you. This is the underneath defender who passes the vertical route that goes over him, by him, as he's supposed to drop down into the flat, which is his primary responsibility. And this then leaves the corner, who you see on your screen now, 2-on-1. Again, he had an out route and he had a go route. He cannot cover both of them. This is a cover 3 beater. This play will always beat cover 3. One of the reasons, of course, Alabama does pattern match is you can change this so that the zone can become man, and essentially you take away all those routes. But on this play, they are in a static zone. This here is your center safety. If you're seeing over there, again, cover 3. So you've got one here, one off the screen. He's just rotating over. That's why you see him. So the route combination is here and here. Again, run him off, and then he bailed back down to make this tackle cover 3 beater. Nice play by LSU, also to the left side. But this is what made LSU's offense so dynamic last year, is they were consistently good at running coverage beaters whenever you played zone against them. And obviously, if you ran man, Joe Burrow was really successful at beating you deep or really anywhere else. This LSU offense is still explosive, largely because they have a good understanding of obviously how to attack teams and their coverages, but the quarterback play, nowhere near the same. Neither is the offensive line, the receivers, and a host of other things. So you'll see on film still a lot of good concepts, but not executing at the same level. Same drive, it's 3rd down and 1. It's important to get a look at what the team you're going to play wants to do in short yardage situations. LSU primarily wants to run. This is 3rd down and 1. Bama is playing this safer here. Again, we've seen in previous film studies that Bama will have all of these guys on the line of scrimmage. Right now they're playing this a little bit flex-oriented to see what LSU wants to do on 3rd down and 1. And unfortunately for LSU, they do have the right play call here as he's actually going to get this 1st down. He clips his own offensive lineman, and that's going to put him down on the ground short, which will bring up a 4th down and 1. And we'll look and see if LSU chooses to run or pass there. 4th and inches. Bama's going to give themselves some space on this alignment. Now, the goal of being off here is to jump quickly on a quick man route. So if he wants to run a quick out or a quick slant, Bama's going to come onto that hard. It's not to just give up a simple throw. It's actually to play aggressively coming downhill on a route like that rather than playing in press where if you get beat, you might be able to run a simple fade or something of that nature. So they're actually trying to stop the quick game by playing off man on this side. And here, as you'll see, we're going to wind up getting the same exact coverage. So Bama is expecting we want to stop a slant route here. We'll live with a vertical route if they want to run it, but we're going to try to come down hard on this and compress these throws while also making sure we pack the line of scrimmage here to try to stop what is most likely coming a 4th and inches run. There is your 4th and inches run. Again, excellent pressure off the edge, beats his block. They get a stop on 4th down and inches. One more time, take a look. Good play off the edge here. So it tells us that LSU on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 both times wanted to run. Again, this is something that's going to carry throughout this film study. LSU likes to run the ball 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. That's a feature of LSU teams of the past. They still want to retain their power identity. It is still most likely they will do that on Saturday when they face Florida. 3rd and 8 for LSU. Alabama's going to choose to play this aggressively. That is often the right decision against an LSU team. Again, we have seen that if you allow them to have time, they're going to run well-designed plays that typically will leave a window for the quarterback to hit. So Alabama says we want to protect against that, and they're going to time their blitz very nicely here. This is something we wish we would see Florida do more often. I want to highlight this. Notice how close he is to the line of scrimmage before the snap starts. A lot of times you'll see Florida at line in what looks to be a too high, and Alabama runs plenty of what looks to be too high. But here on this play, it's 3rd and 8. It's 3rd and 8, yet we have both safeties within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. This is a much more aggressive posturing from Alabama. It also allows them to be a lot more dynamic. They could both bail if they choose, but pre-snap, LSU cannot be sure what's happening. They're also lining up on the defensive line to confuse LSU's offensive line, which, again, if you listen to the podcast, inexperienced and prone to give up good rushing lanes. And so Alabama here, I think, playing optimally. They're going to drop into a cover 3. This corner is going to fall back. This corner is going to fall back. Again, their job is to push the receivers into the interior to their dropping free safety. And then we're going to have linebackers that are going to play underneath along with a coverage man here on the backside. So that's going to be their coverage pre-snap. What do we get post-snap? There's our safety blitz, pressure off the edge, right? Here we go. So the running back picks up the first free blitzer. Now we have an actual free blitzer in the safety, and now you see the beginning of our cover 3 taking shape. He's here. They're dropping free safety off the screen. This pressure is going to get home. The reason I show you this is I want you to look at Finley's eyes. Now, Finley's a freshman, so he's dropping back correctly right now. His eyes are downfield, and right now as he feels the pressure, he's already out of there, right? He's leaving immediately. Now, if you're a more veteran quarterback, and in this case, in fairness to him, he does not have a throw here. He doesn't have a hot route. He has no check down. This is a bad play, but you'll see him do this other times. He's immediately leaving right now. He's already abandoning this. In reality, you'd like to see your quarterback stand tall here, perhaps just throw the ball away, whatever the case may be. But he looks to escape. Athletic enough guy, wants to escape, and he winds up getting sacked. Again, that's not to put too much on him there. The play call was right for Alabama, wrong for LSU. Not a lot he could do. I highlight this because I can't highlight everything in these film breakdowns, but on film, TJ Finley will typically look to escape first when pressured rather than keeping his eyes downfield. That's something Florida should use to their advantage on Saturday. 2nd and 1 for LSU. They're already down 21-0 in this game. Alabama was torching them on offense, which we will see in the second part of this video. Something for Florida to look out for, though, is LSU, of course, will not always line up in a bunch, and they do like east-west passes. And which side does TJ Finley like to throw the ball to? Well, his left side, of course. Florida has struggled all year long to cover these kind of sets, especially because we play very soft. Now, Alabama here, again, take a look at their safety alignment. Only 8 or so yards off the line of scrimmage. Florida oftentimes much further. Regardless, LSU is going to catch them in a positive play. LSU likes this set, and they like this play. Now, this is a very standard route combination. If you're going to run a stack, there's only so many things you can do. Most often, teams will run a go and a pop route, which you see here. You can run a go and a slant route, which is another popular combination. You can run multiple, but typically you're going to have one of the players running off to create space for the other one, which is often the back player. And again, typically it's a go and a pop or a go and a slant. Most typical combinations there. LSU, who are on 2nd and 1, going to take advantage of this. This safety, although much closer to the line of scrimmage, is still not going to stop them from getting a first down. As you can see here, he's going to get this first down easily. Now, again, LSU will use this on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, etc. They like those sets. Florida would be wise to not allow this to happen by making sure the numbers are more aggressive than what Alabama does here. And again, a simple stop here is they choose to bring edge pressure. Instead, they could easily have him come here. Right? They don't need to bring edge pressure here. They do. They take a risk. It does not pay off. It's also early in the game, and they're up 21-0. But regardless, LSU will run those sets. Look for them in the game on Saturday. 3rd down for LSU, and it's 3rd and long. We've seen Alabama play more aggressively on them. In this case, they're not going to, and they're going to get burned. Something for Florida to look for as well against LSU, as they are an effective East-West, as we mentioned, passing team. And again, those teams have caused Florida problems. Here's a nice play designed by LSU on 3rd and 9. TJ Finley is almost certainly going to forget the play for a second. He wants to throw the ball right now. Play's not ready. He's going to be throwing it here to his receiver. He has to wait for a block here. Notice LSU's linemen. They're bailing out, and they're going to come here, and we've got a great situation. We have 4 LSU players, and we have 2 Alabama players. We're zoned up over here, and then our safeties, much like Florida typically does, they've bailed deep. So they are expecting a deeper shot here. LSU catches them off guard. This is going to allow TJ Finley to make a very simple throw, almost a hero play there from Bama. Notice, though, most importantly, that he takes the outside angle. If you watch the breakdown against Tennessee, we talked about Brad Stewart taking the inside angle and how that's a no-go because there's nobody there to help you. You have to force everyone back to the middle because here is where your teammates are. Force them to the middle, which is what he does. He forces them to the middle. That almost allows Alabama there to make a tackle. In time, they don't. But again, let's change this. Let's imagine he does what Brad Stewart did in our breakdown and he comes this way. Right, there he is. Notice how he purposely runs outside. This is well taught by Alabama. He doesn't just know this on his own. This has been drilled in practice a million times. He recognizes it's a screen. He knows he has to get out here and force this play back to the middle, which is what he does. Because he does the right thing, although he can't make the tackle, he allows this to be a tackle. Now, I want you to imagine that doesn't happen. Let's assume he goes in here now, and now what happens with this play? This play could be a touchdown. He's going to shoot up this gap instead, and if he does that, take a look here. We have a block here. We have a free blocker here, and we're potentially gone. So again, each player on defense must do their job. LSU will use east-west passes. Those have affected Florida all season long. 1st and 10 for LSU, 21-0. This is going to be a touchdown for them. This is going to be a significant coverage bust for Alabama. We already have the safety pointing, which is going to indicate that we have problems. Then pointing over here, clearly there is a communication that is attempting to happen. It does not happen. Not only is this going to be a touchdown where we're running a slant and go, we're also going to have a busted coverage here in the middle as well. So this is what you would consider perhaps a double bust. You leave the H-back wide open, but most importantly, you leave the best receiver currently on LSU wide open. That's not what you want to do. And look, which way is this going, by the way? It's going left, right? I kid you not. Almost every pass. In fact, I think every single pass I've shown you so far has gone left, and that's not on purpose, I promise. But as we see this develop, it's just a huge coverage bust. And again, another point here. Not good. You know, when you see defenders pointing and thinking there's someone else that's supposed to be there, they're not there. And that's a touchdown for LSU with the sprinter finish, which, by the way, is one of my favorite celebrations. It's simple. It's elegant. Unfortunately for him, simple, elegant sprinter finish where that's not a touchdown. Now, they blew this call in the game. If you watched it, you saw this. Take a look. That ball is out. How they did not review that and get that correct baffles me. perhaps a different film breakdown for a different time, is how officials cannot look at this and recognize that's not a touchdown. But needless to say, if you're going to do the sprinter finish, just hang on to the ball. Again, it's an elegant celebration. I like it. Look, you're fast, but you're so fast that you didn't score a touchdown and you got away with it. So good for you, LSU. At any rate, for Florida, if they bust coverages, again, LSU is almost always running a pass play that will have somebody going vertical, which is great. Those are good play designs. They can punish you maximally if you mess up your back end coverage. This play is mainly just a mess. And again, if you're a Florida fan and you're looking for chinks in Bama's armor, there are plenty. This is still not a super sound Alabama defense. It's infinitely more sound than Florida's defense, largely because the scheme is better and the coaching is better, but it's not perfect. And in fact, they'll still mess plenty of things up, even on some basic plays. And pre-snap, we've already got some confusion. So look at this. Okay, who's here? Is it you? Is it me? Hey, another point. Who's guarding this guy? It's not supposed to be me. That's not the coverage we're in. Why is this happening? Now, if you're a Florida fan, again, this is normal to you. So perhaps you think, hey, the safety's covering him with this 12-yard cushion. Not normal for Alabama. So a lot of pointing going on, not so good. Okay, it's me. I'll get over here. No problem. I'll come get this. Well, we have problems. LSU's going to run the ball this way. And right off the gate, we have 1, 2, and 3 blockers, and there's your man that can make a stop. Now, let's hope and cross our fingers that LSU's not going to pull some extra blockers over here because that could be bad for us. Oh, wait, they are. And again, not pretty. We get a stumble from the right tackle. We're going to get a missed block here. We do hold the edge nicely here, so he'll get a check for his job on the film study. Check. You did your job. That's correct. Well done. We've got a corner here who's going to really mess things up. He sheds his block. He takes a step backwards, which is correct. Then he decides he's going to come down here. Again, no. Trust yourself to hold the edge. Try to get into here if you can, which he's going to do. But now he's got himself trapped because he took a bad step. Now, despite the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Alabama defenders with an LSU running back and 2 blockers, this is very nice. This is great downfield blocking here. Take a look at this. Seal him up. Now, all because the corner took too shallow of an angle. He's going to get through this hole, so this should be a 5-yard gain. But again, should be a 5-yard gain. They weren't ready. They weren't set. That causes an issue. It causes their starting formation to be unbalanced. It causes them to have a weakness on the weak side. And now one player winds up going too low, misses the tackle. We're off to the races. Another nice job here to finish the block. This is great downfield blocking. Don't quit on the play. Take the safety out. Touchdown. Holds onto the ball. So one more time. Obviously, LSU still explosive, still has talent. One more time, pre-snap. This all starts with confusion, right? We're not right here. Had he gotten this correct earlier, this linebacker is going to slide over to address the weak side situation here. He's also going to slide over because we have a receiver here, running back in the middle. He's a single back. He could go anywhere. He could go left or right. We don't do any of those things, and because of that, that sets a bad play into motion. And again, he could save the play. He could save the play if he just recognizes he needs to help here, but he dives under first and then here, and that leads to the touchdown. There it is. And again, that is the beauty of football. That's why it's such a good game. That's why it's so much fun to do these breakdowns, as it requires all 11 players to function together. You cannot just be a singular hero. You have to have an entire team doing the right thing at the right time to be a well-oiled and effective machine. This is a really nice play that I wish I could show you on the All-22 because it illustrates how Bama wants to play defense on the back end in a lot of these situations. It's an elegant solution. It's a nice play. You can't see it. I'll demonstrate instead what happens. Here, of course, you're going to get what you already know to be my favorite way to play these 3 sets over here. If you've got a 3x1 or a 3x0, or it doesn't matter if you have trips in any kind, especially if they're looking like a triangle like this. Looks like a triangle. I like to get aggressive with this guy because oftentimes most of the action runs through him. LSU is actually going to run some rather simple routes here. But what you're going to see nicely is both the corner and the nickel or the linebacker here is going to attempt to push this inside. So they're going to maintain inside leverage. He's going to slide off, primarily being responsible for deep, but he's not just going to play static. He'll also be able to come down. The route that the quarterback should have hit here, Finley, would have been this one, and we'll talk about that in a second. This is a nice job here, shepherding it to the single high free safety, and we're going to play man over here. So this is a nice combo coverage, and again, nice work here as we're going to 2-on-1 this inside receiver, right? And that's their ginormous tight end, who's obviously very skilled, one of the the highest rated tight end in 247 sports history, and potentially homesick this week, as we heard in the news, and could maybe be going to Georgia, who knows, perhaps coming to Florida if he decides he wants to catch a million balls. I don't know, but what matters for this play is this. You don't want to give a good pre-snap read to a quarterback who's inexperienced. Both Max Johnson and TJ Finley are inexperienced. So do this instead. The LSU line, also inexperienced, going to have a really hard time getting their keys correct. This is a nice aggressive posturing on 3rd down and 5, and it's going to lead to the result of the play. We're going to drop one linebacker into this window here. There it is, to prevent any in-breaking route above his head. And then because of this, we have successfully confused LSU's offensive line. We have 3 guys getting home to the ball, and he is going to get this pass off too little, too late, and out of bounds. So if he does have time, because he's also looking to his left, which is, of course, his favorite way to go, if he does have time, he probably almost certainly hits an in route that you cannot see that is open because that corner was dropping to protect against deep primarily. He can't see it because we get pressure in his face. And again, this play is 1 on 3rd and 5, not because of the coverage here, which would have given up a play, but because of what happens here on the D line. So Florida would do well to do a lot of this in the game. You could drop any one of these guys however you want, but confuse the inexperienced offensive line of LSU. This is how you play inside shade. We've gotten a lot of questions about this in the past, especially because last week against Tennessee, Florida had some inside shade receivers that weren't so great. So take a look here. We're going to creep in. We're going to play inside technique, right? So we're going to prevent any in-breaking route. LSU is going to have the appropriate route on here, which is going to be an out route. And I want to pause everything here. Why is this important? Notice that we have a safety who's stepping in this way. If this route is to become a post, or if they want to run a corner and a post, for example, right? Corner route, post route. This safety is going to get into those windows. He has help. In the Florida game, our safety was here. There was no help. And if you play this kind of leverage, there is no help over here. That is a no-go. That's a no-fly zone. Don't do that. Alabama lined up here correctly, but most importantly, and we have said this before, this is how you play off-man technique against the quick game. Take a look at what happens. As soon as this route is declared, he's waiting. Look, he's waiting. He's not back here. He didn't back up 10 yards, didn't back up 3 yards. He waited. Now, he's not looking at the quarterback. He doesn't see him. He doesn't know what's happening. What he knows is he just saw a quick game route, which is an out route. And because he saw that, he is going to jump all over this route without looking at the quarterback. And again, which way is this going? Yeah, it's going to the left. I know it's crazy, right? He jumps all over this route. And because he does this, Finley really should still make this throw. But I want to show you what the timing looks like. Here's the ball. It's not a good ball. It's behind him. And because of that, he's right there. Now let's imagine the ball is perfectly thrown. This is a 3-yard gain. It's a 3-yard gain. It also tells LSU and Finley, hey, that's not really great for me. I can't be taking 3-yard gains in the pass game. I don't love that. Also, most quarterbacks, especially at the college level, don't throw super accurate out route balls. They'd much rather throw a slant route. So that is why you do that, and that is how you play it. Oftentimes with Florida, we'll see our DBs or our nickels kind of flowing backwards or off balance or just somewhere else. They're not anywhere near this, and this out route has plenty of space and no one is near it. Again, this is how you do it. Take a look. Just a little back step. Wait. Boom, I'm breaking on it. Now, why can he do this? Because he knows he has safety help. He knows if this is an out and up, for example, the safety is going to be there to help him. This is a quick game route. He can close down on this, play this aggressively, know the situation, know your job, know who's behind you. This is a nice job by Alabama to cover this. Most importantly for Florida, notice that LSU will attack all parts of the field. They will run different formations. We're in a 2x2 here, right? We're in a 2x2 here. We've been in 3x1s, 3x0s. We've been in every kind of passing formation you can be in. They're going to present a lot of difficulty for Florida formation-wise. But if you get it right and handle your business, obviously you can have a lot of success. 2nd and 6, we're in the third quarter for LSU, and I'm going to show you a pass that attempts to go to the right. I know, here it is. This is also a great illustration of pattern matching. We get this question all the time, and you're going to see it right here from Alabama. Pay attention to this matchup here and this corner here. Take a look at what happens, and you'll see a pattern match. Now, at this point in time, if you're reading this pre-snap, this could be anything. Most likely what you would think this would be cover 2. That's what you would think. I've got 2 eye safeties. They're probably going to bail and split the field in half. I've got these guys dropping down low. They're going to play aggressively in this part of the field, right? And you can kind of draw out your defense like that. And these guys are going to be underneath defenders covering any bubble that I so choose. That could be that. There could be other options, but this is what you think it may be. Now for LSU, your route combinations here are going to get gobbled up by how Alabama chooses to match up with this. Now right away, you see an immediate slant from the wide receiver. So the rule in the pattern match here is going to be if it's an immediate inside route, the corner lets that go and drops. Why are they dropping? Because the inside receiver or the number 2 receiver is almost certainly going to be running a route over the corner's head. A very common concept here is what you're seeing, which is a slant corner. To match up with that, let that route go. And then what's going to happen here is you're going to watch the flow. We're going to pick this up. He's also keeping his eyes in here. Who's going to come into this inside zone? I'm going to pick up the slant route. There it is. Now you've got the dropper, keeping your eyes here. Where's he going to go? I'm dropping here with a safety over the top with our inside linebacker dropping here to the running back. Finley does look to the right on this play. Who he really wants is him coming in between the zone and the slant. That's who he's looking at. He's reading the slant and he's reading the corner. He wants to throw this ball, but wisely recognizes he's in trouble. As now this linebacker is coming right downhill to that route, pump fakes it, holds it, gets a sack. Now this is entirely made with a freshman quarterback facing a complicated defense that he almost certainly did not see in high school. Again, one more time, pay attention down here. One more time, take a look. Immediate in-breaking route, pass off, there's the key, and yell under, under, under. He's going to bail back and look for what the 2 does. So if the 1 goes under, he looks for what the 2 does. He bails on that. There he is. The 2 does, in fact, run a corner route here. You can't see it. It's the exact right combination that Alabama is set up to defend there. And that is a nice example of pattern matching. This play is going to result in LSU turning the ball over. A really nice individual play by Alabama. And unfortunately, I can't show you the all 22. I questioned even showing you this play, but it's so good. I'm going to scheme it out for you so you can see what happens. Alabama is going to play a cover 3. He's going to drop down here. The free safety who's off your screen is right here. He's going to bail to the middle. And I'm going to show you this action because LSU is trying to take a deep shot here. So again, notice outside leverage, force everything in this funnel here. Alabama does a great job of really compressing in their cover 3. Notice how tight we are here. This is a very small funnel. We're going to funnel these receivers. Now, the reason I'm showing this to you is this receiver is going to break off to this side of the field. At this point in time, the back side of the cover 3 is going to indicate that to the free safety, who is immediately going to come down on this route. And then the cover 3 corner is going to bail to help deep on this route. That is a perfect back-end exchange. You cannot see this on your television. And meanwhile, we have 4 underneath defenders effectively guarding no one because LSU is taking a shot and then having a delayed check down here. Finley, of course, does what he likes to do. He likes to look left. He looks left. It's not there. He's then going to take his check down, which is the uber talented tight end coming across the field there. There's the check down. Underneath defenders, again, they're not waiting. They're not sitting back here. They're engaging. As soon as he catches this pass, he's going to be right there to hit him. And because he is, he actually takes the ball from him and generates a turnover. Again, excellent defense here from Alabama. LSU will attempt to set up shot plays. They will try to take shots deep. Unlike last year, their routes tend to be a lot simpler when they do so because they don't have Joe Burrow. You're not getting a lot of those 10 to 12 intermediate routes in this part of the field that you can't see past the first down line. Instead, you're just getting multiple go routes and a check down. So that's an example of a team that's trying to simplify things for their quarterback. Alabama takes advantage here with a perfectly executed cover 3. All right, we successfully showed you all of the TJ Finley film, and we saw 0 passes completed to the right side. He did actually complete, I think, 1 or 2 in that game. I didn't show you because there wasn't a lot of interesting things happening. But again, if TJ Finley does play, Florida should overload the left side of their defense. In comes Max Johnson, the son of Tampa Bay Buck and Oakland Raider Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson, if you may recall, was famous for running the West Coast offense, very short passes, most of them between 5 to 6 yards and shorter. Accuracy, timing, key to that offense. Perhaps Max Johnson is cut from the same cloth, and maybe dad taught him to also be a short ball thrower with a lot of accuracy. Let's see what the film tells us. It's his first drive, and it's 3rd and 3. LSU is going to bring their wide receiver in motion. Alabama is going to counter. And again, often you would see Alabama exchange this, and this is for good reason. The reason I prefer to exchange is because of what you're going to see happen here. But the score is 52-14, and you're also going to see in this breakdown that Alabama is not going to do what Florida typically does on defense and play super soft. In fact, you can already see that here. Look how many people are near the line of scrimmage. Alabama likes to use the end of games for defense for reps, whereas Florida seems to like to use the end of games just to get back on the bus. Difference in mentality entirely. Either way, what does Max Johnson do here on his really second pass? He threw an incomplete pass earlier. He's going to go ahead and step up and look for the motion man, who is not being trailed closely enough, for a flat throw. Completes it nicely, and that turns into a sizable gain. So, all right, 1 for 1 on short passes. That's a very West Coast offensive play, by the way. So we're 1 for 1 there. Let's see what we get next. Very next play, 1st down and 10. Top of your screen, you're going to have a corner route, and you're going to have a hitch route. Now, if you're Max, what you're going to read is what this corner does. Now, Alabama, I think, is going to blow this here with their nickel. I think he's supposed to flow over into the flat and pass this corner route off to the dropper. It's not going to happen, but that's not important. Let's take a look at what Max is going to read here. Max, being a lefty, not like his dad who's a righty, takes the snap, looks at the free safety, good training, looking at the free safety. For no real reason, he knows what he wants to do is he wants to read this defender. That's his read defender, and he can see that he is bailing. Now, at this point in time, this defender sees an inside release, and again, I bet in a Saban defense, he's supposed to let that go and immediately come down here. You will see Alabama get picks on this type of play. This is a long throw. He's on the far hash. If he trusts this to let this go, he's got a safety over here you can't see. He's got his corner here. He can drive downhill on this, and this could be a score. He's not going to do it, which again, I'm pretty sure here is his mistake. Either way, Max, that's another under 5-yard pass and a completion and a 1st down. Questions you want to ask when watching film: is this quarterback reading the field? Can I see if they're making a full field read? Can I see if they're even making a secondary read? Or are they just reading one? Well, let's look on this play. It's 1st and 10. This is a good chance with a young quarterback to take a shot. In fact, the younger your quarterback, the more likely you are to take shots on early downs when the defense is not going to be predicting pass as often. He is going to look at the free safety. Now, you can't see him. The free safety is moving this way. Why? Because this is the play side. We can see that we have 3 receivers out over here. We have 1 here. Alabama is going to feel very comfortable letting that happen to be man-on-man. He goes there. He's going to take a shot. Now, right now, he's not even looking. Notice he turns right at the end. He stares at that free safety for a long time. This is not a matchup you want right now, right? Your receiver has not won this battle. He has lost. He's pinned to the sideline. We have top control. You're not going there. He should snap his head around and look elsewhere. Of course, he's a freshman. Would I expect him to do this? No. Just giving you an example of what you would be doing if you're a quarterback. You're not going to take your shot here unless you're going to throw a back shoulder throw. And again, probably not on that level yet. So what I want to see is the mechanics. He has a clean enough pocket here. Take a look. Clean enough pocket, although he's pushed back. He can step into this throw and give it some leverage. He's a little uncomfortable here. He actually just leans back, drives backwards to throw this ball. This ball, of course, has no real shot and almost becomes a pick because he leaves it in bounds. So this tells me something as I'm watching film on him. I'm kind of just giving you a little preview into the dialogue of what it's like to watch film in real time. And you'd say, okay, well, doesn't look like he loves the deep ball. Could just be one play. Not a great look there. Uncomfortable, perhaps, again, throwing deep is something he's not as comfortable with as throwing short. That would fit the bias coming into watching him on film, given his dad and other things. But, certainly too small of a sample to see right there. That's just one. Let's keep exploring and see what we find. 3rd quarter, it's 52-14. The score has not changed. I'm just highlighting it for you now in case you hadn't noticed. And let's see how Alabama is going to play defense. Well, right off the snap, we're playing aggressively here. We have only 1 safety here. This is a rather aggressive posturing. Of course, we're going to play a little off man here because of the down and distance. And again, look at what's going on here. So we have 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers. We are not telling you what we're doing. This is a staple for the Bama game plan against LSU. It's a good one for good reasons. And on this play, we're actually going to bring a strong side pressure. So we're going to bring a strong side pressure here and here. We're going to drop our linebackers here and here into the windows. And let's see what Max does on this play. Max immediately is going to this side. He's going to read these plays. And this is what's going to actually kind of help him for a second. So he wants to throw the ball right now to this route that's coming in here. And you're going to see this defender react accordingly. In fact, because he's looking at him, he actually takes a step this way. because he thinks the quarterback's ready to throw it. He hitches it, which creates just the smallest of windows here, just for a second. He's got pressure here due to the blitz. This ball's going to have to come out. It's not going to be good. It's not going to matter. And we're going to wind up making a play on it with a linebacker there bracketing. Now, this is a good zone defense. I talk about this because zone defense can be very good. It can be effective. You have to run it well. This is a nice way to run it. You're running pressure from the play side. Which is going to wind up obviously causing problems, right? Here you go, pressure on the play side. You're going to get guys in the throwing lanes. This is what you want. On the weak side, where he doesn't have as much pressure, we're 2-on-1. This is a good and well-designed defensive play. This is solid. It gives your defense a high chance of success. It allows your players to be able to play well. And in this case for LSU, no conversion opportunity here. And again, a lot of backpedaling. He's not staying in the pocket. He wants to throw this early. Tells you probably does not love to be pressured, anxious to get the ball out, anxious to go to his read that he had already wanted to go to pre-snap. 55-17, fourth quarter. This is garbage time. Maybe we should just back everyone off and let them score. It's garbage time. Doesn't matter. All that matters is how many points teams score in good time, so to speak, right? Well, let's look at us here. Bama, we're aggressive on the line of scrimmage. We're aggressive on the line of scrimmage here with our pass defense. And it's 2nd and 10, and we are not going to let LSU just drive down the field and score in garbage time because that's not what champions do. We're going to make them earn it. And in fact, on top of that, we're bringing everyone. Here comes everyone we have, and we're going to play cover one man behind it with a free safety that's off your screen that you cannot see. And there it is, and we get home, and we sack him. Aggressive defense, game well in hand, in garbage time, Bama not letting up. That sends a strong message to your team and your players of what your character and culture is like. Also, it sends a message to LSU and to Max Johnson, hey, playing Alabama is not so great. I'd kind of like them to back off so I can make some passes and build my confidence. And Max actually did fine in this game. But, here, Bama's not making it easy for him. 3rd and 16. 3rd and 16 here for LSU. I don't like the play call here that Bama does, but I think they're having fun. At some point in time, you want to get your free safety involved. And what I mean by that is you're going to send him on a blitz. Free safety blitzes generally not good ideas. In fact, in games like these, oftentimes you are trying to reward a player. In a situation like this, of course you can get a stop. It's not like they're just waving the white flag, but you want to give your guy a chance who's typically playing off the ball to go hit the quarterback. And I respect that. Once again, here we are. We're not going to show them what we're in. We're going to make this pre-snap read uncomfortable. And Max Johnson is going to complete the first pass we've seen him complete in a while. There's your free safety blitz, by the way, coming in. And where do you think he's going? Oh, look at this. Under 5 yards. Under 5 yards. Here he comes. There he is. Right, LSU's best receiver is wide open under 5 yards. Bama does not blow this coverage. They just get caught. They get caught with the route they're willing to give up because it's 3rd and 16. And notice he doesn't actually get the first down here. He almost gets it, right? But they're giving that route up on purpose. Now, they didn't want to give up this many yards, but again, it tells us something here about Max. This is the check down safe route. But I would be willing to bet this is the route he really wants to throw anyway. Again, I think he's more the West Coast style of quarterback from what I've seen from him on film. Not that he can't throw deeper, but I think he's a guy who's reading short first or is most comfortable doing so. Limited sample size. Wild speculation here. Again, have not watched high school film or anything else on him. We're just going to take some inferences from what we see here and put them out there. But so far, Bama gets aggressive with a free safety blitz. He completes a nice underneath drag route there and leaves them with a 4th and short. So we mentioned earlier that LSU likes to be run-oriented on 4th and short. What's going to happen here? Bama not quite ready. This should make all Florida fans feel good, right? They're not really ready here. Not ready. Not ready. It's 4th and short. And they're not ready really because I think on 3rd and 16, they didn't get the stop they were expecting, and now they were late to get their defensive call in, which is no excuse for them, but that's what happens when you give up too many yards on 3rd down. LSU says, hey, we are going to do what we do. We're going to run a quarterback sneak. So again, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is or what the situation is. They are most likely going to do what LSU wants to do. That's run the ball on 4th and short situations. Again, Florida should take note of that. Very next play after the conversion. Let's see if Max throws another short pass. We're going to get everyone's favorite route, a slant route and a flat route. Linebacker's going to come to the flat here. There he goes. And slant routes here. Max looking at it, gets everything he wants and dreams of. Bingo. Very accurate ball. So when looking at Max Johnson, there's no doubt he throws these short passes well. He throws them on time. He's comfortable with the quick game. Look at his mechanics. Take the snap, set the foot. That's a great zero drop, let's call it. Zero drop quick game. Ball's going to be coming out right on time, right into the perfect window. Nice catchable ball. Maximizes that play for basically a 10-yard gain. Again, this is perfect quick game quarterbacking. One more time. Snap is caught. Foot is planted. Ready to throw, bingo. No wasted motion or energy. That tells me for sure he's most comfortable. He's most comfortable throwing quick game. He looks the most acclimated to that. And again, you're seeing it here with that kind of nice pass on 1st down and 10. So if you see Max Johnson, Florida should be prepared for much more of an underneath attack with them attempting to use the underneath to open up the deep, which would be a different philosophy than what they do for TJ Finley. A 4th and goal for LSU. I like the formation LSU comes out with a lot. This is a really nice formation. We've got a receiver out here that's got to be taken care of by Alabama. We're lining up in a triangle set here. Notice the defender that's going to be here, making contact presumably with the top of the defense. And then we have one-on-one up here. This is a nice, easy option for a quarterback. We asked the question earlier, is Max Johnson making reads at this point? Or at least is he doing so against Alabama? Again, this play will help you. Before, when we saw we had one-on-one, Max just really went to the one-on-one side, and he's going to do the same thing here again. Now notice it's 4th and goal. Bama, not just rolling over. They're going to keep bringing pressure on him here. This is actually going to leave the top of this bunch wide open. And again, this is why. This is a great example why, in general, you really always want to be chucking this player. You don't want to allow a free release. He's the most dangerous person in these sets, and he is absolutely wide open. He's wide open, but again, Max is not looking. All of this stuff over here is just to get this, and really just to throw an easy one-on-one fade route. There's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. This happens in the NFL all the time too. It's okay. You take your matchup, look at the height and size difference here. This is going to be your all-world tight end. You want to get him involved, get him a touchdown against Alabama. He's homesick after all. Nothing wrong with this, not dogging this. Obviously here he has a wide open touchdown. And again, that just tells me they're basically designing plays for him at this point in time that are going to be suited to him. And also on top of that are going to be rather straightforward. Florida's had a big advantage all year long of playing quarterbacks who primarily are first read or half field read quarterbacks. That's allowed Florida's defense to dodge a lot of bullets, as I call it. This should be true again against LSU, although LSU is more potent. If LSU had Miles Brennan for this Saturday, this game would be much different, as Miles Brennan was capable of making full field reads. They don't have him. Neither quarterback they will play, Finley or Max Johnson, is going to be that kind of guy. So expect a lot of what you've seen in this film breakdown. Let's flip over and take a look at the defense now, having put the offense behind us. Alabama had a really good game plan coming into this game. They knew that LSU likes to play man. They still want to retain the same style from years past. They're going to match up Stingley on Devontae Smith. And we're going to get a little motion. Okay, yep, this is what we thought you were going to do all week. Perfect. Now we're going to make it a foot race. Stingley does not seem too interested in pursuing that foot race. And right out of the gate on 1st and 10, easy little pass behind the line of scrimmage goes to the most dangerous receiver on Alabama, and he's going to pick up 7 or 8 yards. Now, why is this important? 1, it tells LSU we're correctly diagnosing what you want to do to us. 2, it tells Stingley we're not going to make it easy for you just to line up on our best receiver and cover him. We're going to make this difficult. So if you want to play man all day long, we have an answer to that. And now you get the coaches up in the booth saying, oh man, what are we going to do if they keep doing that? So right away, put the pawn out there and say, we know what you want to do, and we have an answer for that. So a good start by Bama. Florida obviously should expect a lot of attention on either Pitts or Toney. Given how Tennessee was able to successfully confuse Florida by mixing it up, you could expect LSU to do the same. As we walk through this film study here, you're going to see what happens with LSU's game plan and how Alabama pretty much just undresses it in the first 2 drives. Here is Devontae Smith. Now we've had a couple of plays. We're back on 1st down. We know they're giving a lot of tension here. They're still playing a lot of man. So let's go ahead and send our running back out here. Let's clear out some space for the slant route. Now you see a too high look off the start from LSU. It does not mean they're going to be dropping back into a cover 2 or a cover 4 or anything else. In fact, if we're correct, we should be expecting that we're going to come down here and play aggressively on this slant route. And in fact, we are. There it is. Big hit by the strong safety. They're giving a lot of attention to Smith. Now I show you this because, again, Florida should expect similar defense against Toney or Pitts, especially against Toney because Toney's in the slot. Stingley's going to allow this ball to come to the inside in exchange for a big hit here against Smith, letting Devontae Smith know if you want to run over the middle all day, we're going to hit you. LSU, we should expect to be physical against Florida, both at the line of scrimmage, especially on Kyle Pitts, not allowing free releases, and also downfield. Again, they do try to retain the character that they once had. 3rd and 3 for Alabama. We talked about this in the podcast. I don't need to draw anything on here other than to say Bama gets them to jump off sides. Bama did this 3 times in the game. This is for a first down early in the game. Florida would be wise to pay attention using their hard count against LSU, as again, they're obviously prone to doing it. And despite them practicing it all week long, I would assume they may still be prone to doing it this week as well. All right, very next play, 1st and 10. Here again is Smith. And we're just going to run him off because let's just get him out of the way. And you're going to have a lot of attention paid to him. So we're actually going to have our dropper. You're going to see this here. I'm going to show you in a second. Don't pay attention to that circle. All right, here comes our strong safety. He's going to drop in the backside window. We're going to have Stingley shepherding him to the free safety. So basically we have 3 people guarding Smith on this play. Again, Alabama frequently won't send a lot of receivers out. They run the ball so well, they don't have to. Look, they only have 2 guys going out right now. What's happening at the top of your screen is nice. They know they're going to have one-on-one out here, which they have. The route being run by the wide receiver is going to bend outside here to get strong physical leverage against man-to-man coverage, and then bend this route to the inside to give a nice throwing area for Mac Jones. The reality for Alabama and Mac Jones is he is running a much simpler offense than Kyle Trask is running. This is not to take anything away from Mac Jones. In life, it's generally best to run the most risk-free oriented version you can that yields the highest expected value. Don't take any more extra risk than you have to get the same expected value. And Alabama does not have to take as much risk as Florida does. They don't ask Mac Jones to make full field reads because they don't have to. They can utilize their athletes, their talent, their offensive line to generate situations like these where they know pre-snap they have one-on-one. Mac Jones just simply looks over here to confirm that he has, in fact, triple coverage against Smith, and then goes to what he already knows to be his one-on-one matchup based upon how the play calling this game has been going. And then just look at this. And you tell me how many times you've seen Kyle Trask have a pocket like this all year long. Because the answer is not very many. This is what the pocket looks like most of the time for Mac Jones, and it's one of the reasons why I think if you switched Kyle Trask and Mac Jones, Trask would do exceedingly well in Alabama, and Mac Jones would not be near the same quarterback that he is now. That's not a knock against him. I just think that's the reality based upon film. Mac here going to make a really nice throw on this dig route. We can see great separation because we've leveraged him off. And here is Stingley, who now pulled off of the route from Smith, who you see over here with 2 LSU players, all 3 of them here. This turns into a nice, easy, big gain for Alabama. Chunk yardage, taking advantage of LSU's game plan. 2nd and 5 now in the red zone, same drive. Alabama's going to get hat-on-hat football, 2, 4, 6. We're going to have 4 here for LSU, and there we go. We get a motion man, so wide receiver motions out. We're now going to settle in here. This will be the pass-off. All solid fundamental pass-offs here from LSU. The only problem is they're playing Alabama. And the 6-on-6, if you're playing Florida, Florida may gain 1, 2, 3, maybe even 6 or 7 yards in a really great situation, but most often not a lot. If you're playing Alabama, it may result in a touchdown. Again, LSU doesn't do anything wrong here. Here comes your free defender. He's your free defender, your conflict defender. He's playing both run and pass. He breaks down, comes in quickly, tries to make sure he holds outside leverage because he has no help on this side, which he does. Unfortunately for him, he turns the play to the inside, but he's gone, and he can make a play, but he's not fast enough because he's a big D tackle. And now our other safety here, Stingley, just didn't really have a lot of interest in tackling people. Sort of went Deion Sanders in this game, perhaps protecting himself for the NFL one day. Did not really want to get in there. And Bama takes a hat-on-hat situation for a touchdown. Now, why do I show you this? LSU is definitely going to play hat-on-hat football with Florida, but LSU is not going to have this kind of failure rate. That's why Florida can't look at this film and say, great, we'll just motion a few guys around and we'll just give ourselves hat-on-hat running and we can expect to run for 10 or 15 yards. We can't. We have not proven that all year long. So Florida must take these shifts LSU puts on film and must create other advantages and opportunities because we cannot do the same things Bama does. We're different offenses. Next drive for Bama, they've proven that they understand. They understand what LSU's defense is doing against them. Now we see Stingley here, who's not matched up on Smith. So perhaps they're abandoning that, or are they? Let's see. Bama's not buying it. Bama's going to run Smith again on this decoy post route. He knows he's not getting the ball, but you know what he is getting? Tons of attention. He's once again going to draw 3 guys that you can't see on your screen. Mac Jones going to do a play action fake here. Very nice. Consistent. They really run play action, hold the linebackers, make them think about it. Don't just drop back and let everyone drop. And then we're going to get, let's make sure that he runs an inside release here, which is his job. Make sure he runs inside towards my help. And now I've overexerted myself a little bit there with that shove. And there's no help on this side because we've just run the corner off. So we're going to run the corner off. We're going to run Devontae off here, and we're going to take this one-on-one matchup. Mac Jones is going to sit back here in this big, beautiful pocket, wait for the easiest throw of all time to present itself to him, and throw to a wide open Alabama receiver for yet another 20 yards. Again, pre-snap, this is just so simple. Play action, he's not looking at the field, turns around, sees the field. All he really has to do is confirm that, yes, everyone is again looking at Devontae Smith. He's not even reading this go route, doesn't matter. He knows all along he has this matchup here on the inside. This is an easy throw, step up into a clean pocket, throw on platform. And again, that's a great ball. We're taking nothing away from Mac Jones here. You can't take away from a guy because his team is really good. He's doing all the things he should be doing. Accurate downfield thrower, proper read, good throw. And obviously Alabama, again, can just generate bigger chunk yards off really very simple concepts here. But this shows that Bama's staff correctly diagnosing what Alabama wants to do. LSU, on the other hand, not having a good go of trying to get in favorable matchups against Alabama's offense, right? So chalk one up for a win for Bama. LSU's defense, again, historically bad this year. Not very good at stopping anything. And despite their scheme here to give lots of attention to Smith, they haven't really thought about giving attention seemingly to anyone else, at least early in the game. Very next play, and perhaps something Florida can use, we've got Najee out here. He's going to then come back in and settle in for running back, and that's going to give them a plus numbers advantage. Florida also likes to run these sets, right, where you can put a tight end and an H-back. In this case, Florida will use receivers in the line of scrimmage to accomplish the same thing and then have them block. This is going to give them a +1 advantage in the run game. That's going to allow for the easiest of big runs. Again, all generated here. Nothing crazy, nothing complicated. LSU just doesn't shift enough over. There it is. We need Stingley in the box. And again, I think Bama saw on film that Stingley really doesn't want a lot to do with tackling people. And we're going to run right at him. Nice gain by Bama. LSU's defense, again, showing why they are so bad this year. Can't stop the run, can't stop the pass. It will be different, of course, against Florida. But Florida can use some pre-snap motions and formations to see what it may look like, depending on how LSU wants to defend Florida. 1st and 10 in the red zone. This is a play Florida could perhaps use something like against LSU. LSU now getting frustrated. Take a look at how many guys are in the box. Bama, again, showing a set Florida uses a lot. That's why this play is directly relevant to Florida and some actions off of it. Now we're going to send the top outside receiver here in motion. Going to send him around. That's going to draw the attention of the corner, who's going to go with him. And then we're going to sneak Devontae Smith underneath. So one more time, take a look at this. There it is. And a little pitch to him with running back action here to draw all these players. Of course, LSU does get this correct. They are waiting for this play. One more time, edge defender here, waiting for this play, does his job, very nice, but he's not going to be able to run with Smith. Nice blocking downfield, and again, this picks up about 10 yards. So look to see if Florida tries to use something similar with Tony. Does not have to be this exact play, but it can be something quite similar to it. 4th and 1, 14-0 Alabama. Everything's going well for them. They're going to go for it on the 40 and the 35 here. I like the aggressiveness. Why not? And we know that LSU likes to play man. So here we are, cover 1. They're showing cover 1 man. Again, these are very basic plays. You've got to appreciate this. This shows a nice understanding of what to do to put a bad defense in conflict. Now, obviously, the better the defense you play, the more successful your offensive plays have to be beyond just level 1 in game theory, so to speak, right? Let's just operate at level 1. And if they can't stop level 1, don't go to level 2, and that's what Bama's doing here. We're just going to motion our receiver across and see if LSU gets the switch off correct. They don't. So we're going to have no one defending him here. And again, take a look at this. This is easy. 4th and 1 complete, and we have a 10-yard gain with the simplest of throws. So nice design by Alabama. Look for Florida, obviously, to take advantage of similar situations against LSU's man defense and their communication. So we've said this LSU defense is historically bad. One of the things they're perhaps most known for is just flat out blowing coverages. Very late into the season, they're going to blow one here. We're going to have our corner from LSU just run with this post route the entire time. Almost certainly not what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to let that go. He doesn't, and then you can see the route that's coming here, which is going to be a deep over across the field. Mac Jones first is going to read this route over here. You'll see him look at that spot. Take a look at his head. He's looking over there. Doesn't see what he likes. Nope. Okay, I'll come back around. Now, this is a nice job by Mac Jones. This is a reading the field play. You just saw him read the field. He loaded up, didn't like it. Let me come back around. Now, let me show you a difference again between Florida and Bama. Let's take a look at this pocket. Takes a snap. Look at this. Look to the right. Now I don't like it. Let me turn my way. Look at this. It's incredible. He gets to stand back there and turn his feet, throw everything on platform. He can have a cup of coffee back there. He can read the paper. He can watch some television. He can do whatever he wants, and then he can throw a touchdown pass to an absolutely wide open receiver. So again, will it look like this for Florida on Saturday? No. Florida's offensive line is not Alabama's, but they certainly can generate coverage busts, and Kyle Trask will do what he does, throwing the ball from a wide variety of platforms. But either way, a nice example here of LSU just not doing the little things, just not doing the little things right. This was actually a two-man downfield route from Alabama, and yet they were able to get this open again. So Bama now up 21-7. They're getting a feeling that perhaps LSU is going to alter their game plan. Let's take the next step of game theory and leveling and say perhaps we can get Smith on a favorable matchup now. Let's motion our receiver out, which will take LSU away from their defense, which would have had Stingley bailing. They would have had extra help here in the 3 and a safety that could have slid over. By motioning him over here to this side now, the safety's going to slide on this side. We'll play underneath with the corner, and we're going to create a favorable matchup. There it is. You see the pass off. So again, make LSU communicate. We now have Stingley matched up here, and then we have Smith here on the outside. He's going to get squeezed. Again, try to not allow him a free release, which is great. Go to work here. He's going to get through that, and we're going to show you when we get the next camera angle what happens, because all you're going to see is that he's wide open. What I want you to focus on, though, is we only have 2 players versus 2 players. And you saw earlier Smith had 3 guarding him. Now we actually have 1-on-1. So again, Alabama diagnosing correctly that LSU has switched their defensive strategy, and they're going to make them pay for this. This is an excellent downfield route. Again, this is Smith here in the slot. Take a look at what happens. He gets squeezed twice. This linebacker is going to let him go as he should. There's no safety helping. You cannot run with him. Nobody in the country can run with him on a vertical. Here is Stingley, who's now going to try to pick him up because they are running a post corner. Good combination, good spacing. You can see them on this waiting to space it up. Take a look. They're waiting to space this up, help each other with some natural rubs. And then this is interesting because in all reality, Smith thinks he's probably going to be the decoy, which is correct, actually. Take a look. He's drawing 2 players. And the post route's going to be the route Bama's trying to hit. Here comes the safety rotating over late to get there, except Smith, and he does this well. Take a look at this shove. All good receivers do this. Smith partially gets wide open because he times his shoves really well. Expect him to do this against Florida. He gets a little extra separation when he's in the free, and there you go. That throws Stingley extra off balance, and he is gone. Wide open touchdown. That play almost certainly, again, gave Mac Jones the option. Let's see if they actually allow Smith to get this. You can see both are really focusing actually on Smith, safety rotating over. Either way, you could have hit either one of these guys. They're going to choose Smith for a big touchdown, but nice work by Bama. Excellent downfield play, and you can do that, right? If you're Alabama, let's go back here. You can do these 15 to 18-yard interchanges when you have this kind of time. Again, look at this pocket, right? You can do these way downfield exchanges because you have that kind of time. Florida, again, rarely has the time to do 15 to 20-yard post and corner combinations and things of that nature. We just don't have the time to let them develop. Nice play by Bama. Again, nice diagnosis of plays, and LSU showing they can be beat in multiple ways, over the top, underneath, east-west, and running. Nice Mac Jones pass attempt chart here. Pretty good start to the day, huh? I've been watching a lot of those. It seems like they had a good pregame plan. Let's see if it continues. Let's see what they draw up here. All right, here we go again. Cover 1. LSU playing man press because we're physical. This is what we did back in the day when we were really good. And I like this style of defense. That's the funny thing, is like it's perfectly appropriate to play cover one and play man. But if the other team's athletes are better than your athletes, you're in trouble. Man is not going to work for you. It's not going to work, in fact, at all, especially when they're going to run some really solid route combinations. We've talked about this a lot on the podcast for years. This is going to be a classic slant go, slant wheel, slant fade rub combination. There it is. Now, although it doesn't necessarily work, quote unquote, right? They don't actually make the contact they want. It doesn't matter. You feel this narrowing in here. It just tightens everything up, slows it down. And of course, we have Mac Jones just chilling back here with plenty of space between him and the next closest guy to just kind of take a nice picture. Again, he can pop up a chair right here if he wants, sit on a stool. He can have a cup of tea, right? And he can just watch this out here and say, okay, when do I want to throw this pass? Well, I'm going to throw it when DeVonta Smith is wide open, because why not? And there it is. He's wide open and he's gone, and that's a touchdown. So again, Bama making them pay. Let's watch this now from the All-22. Thank you, All-22. Good to have you back. Again, Bama's going to send 3 receivers out here, and 2 of them are going to be wide open. Right? We also have this. That's pretty open too. Again, that's the problem with running cover one man, and the free safety is wasted. So the biggest problem with running cover one is if you run cover one and teams are good, they're going to run action that leads away from your safety, so this player is basically irrelevant. That's what's happening here, and that's what you see with this play. And right away, again, all that Mac Jones is looking for is even. He knows that if DeVonta Smith is even, he is leaving. And as soon as he sees that, he's going there, and he does. There he is. He's gone. One more time, look at the play combination. Slant wheel. There it is. Like slant wheel, right? Slant outside. Really well done by Bama. Let's help out our best receiver. Could he beat him on a go route? Sure. But let's just add a little extra assistance in case we need it. Stingley, again, not covering Smith. And he's gone. Great ball by Mac Jones. Good play design. Easy touchdown. Correctly diagnosing what LSU is doing. Florida could, if they wanted to, at least in theory, have a lot of play calling success against LSU because at times they're predictable. And again, being predictable can be good if you have the athletes and the players to do it. You don't have to be confusing. But if you can't, it allows offenses to scheme you up perfectly and create plays that are very hard to defend. All right, last play we'll show you, and then we'll put this film breakdown to bed, so to speak. It's 3rd down and 10 for Alabama. It's 35-14 in the second. Is the game over? Not necessarily, right? Bama has the ball here. If LSU can get a stop, get some momentum. 3rd and 10, and we're offsides again. So I'm showing you that because we mentioned it would happen, and there it is. Offsides again. That's then going to make it 3rd down and 5. So now we have 3rd down and 5. All right, great. 3rd down and 5. Let's see what Bama runs. Is LSU going to play man? Well, doesn't look like they're going to play man. At least not as much as they did. Well, what kind of defense is this? We'll call this the no defense. We've seen Florida play this before. They are, in fact, underneath, playing what we're going to call man. Now, why do I say this? Because each player is not just dropping to a zone. They're all playing the man in front of them, right? Now, this could be a matchup zone. You could have pattern matching. And if you did, it makes sense. So one last comment on pattern matching. If you're the outside receiver here, versus outside corner, you're going to run with any vertical. That's almost certainly what you're going to do. That's your rule. So we see that happen. Check. Okay. It's very possible this defender's rule could be he's going to run with any outside route, any inside route he leaves. And if this is the 3. If the 2 runs an inside route, he drops back to account for the 3, potentially running an outside route. Now, those things are all possible, so we're not going to get hung up on whether that's happening or not. But what matters is LSU is covering. We've got covered up here, covered up here, covered up here, 2 safeties over the top, and then we have this. This is DeVonta Smith. Obviously, he's been torching them deep. We're going to go inside leverage. We don't want him to come in here. He's too dangerous. So again, look at Alabama. This is a correct pre-snap diagnosis. Mac Jones right away, all we're doing is clearing space. These are just clear out routes. He's not looking for those routes. He does not care about those routes. We're going to clear these guys out because we think they're going to man. We're going to play cover 2 over the top of them, whatever the case may be, and we are going to make sure that we make this as easy as possible. Again, here it is for our best target, our best option. There it is, and there he is. Turning to the outside, away from the zone, away from the inside protection and leverage, underneath the safeties. Here comes your safety. This is a massive cushion and area to throw the football to. And again, look at the pocket that we have here, the perfect U shape, standing still, chilling, reading the newspaper. Bingo. Completion. Now, I show all this to show you this is Stingley. Now, what is Stingley doing here? I don't really know. If he's trying to show that he can play man from the inside in the NFL, not making a hard effort. Now, he's denying the inside, but unlike earlier where the safety came down and wanted to help out, we don't have that either. So I'm just going to call this the no defense defense. This is one of the reasons why LSU is not very good this year. Then Stingley gets torched. Again, if you're an NFL corner, this is not a great look for you on film. He's torched. Some good downfield blocking. Everyone else is torched. And a little outside hitch route goes for 50. Goes for 50. So if Florida can be as successful as Alabama, with Tony playing the role, of course, of Devontae Smith, then Florida can expect similar opportunities against LSU's defense, which oftentimes is disinterested in actually playing defense. We hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this video, as always. I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast, and if you enjoyed it, send me your feedback. Feedback helps me drive what I do in the future. Let me know what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of. And as always, I appreciate you taking time to watch these videos. I do them really entirely for all of you that watch them. If all of a sudden nobody watched them, I wouldn't do them. So thanks for the feedback. Thanks for the encouragement. And until next time, go Gators.